Hey guys, it's Ash, and I'm kind of really disappointed because I actually just deleted this video the first time that I made it, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm not gonna delete it. Okay, so this video is me talking about, oh, do you like my hair? The buns are hurting my head. Anyway, so this video is me talking about whenever I was stalked by a kid. We'll call him Rex. He was my grade. He was a year older than me. It's whatever. Anyway, so here it is. So a while back, and I was in like 9th and 10th grade, like in between those times of years. And it was at the end of 9th grade and the whole entire thing of 10th grade. Okay, I'm in 11th grade right now, so it was like a year ago. So it was a big back. It was before this Rona thing happened. So this kid, let's call him Rex. Yeah, this kid named Rex, he was sort of quieter. Just to give you like a visual, he looked like he was a bit chunkier. He had bad skin. He had a mullet with like this greasy black hair. No, I don't know. He had a lot of friends though, but like, he's not my type, but he had these lovely blue eyes. Okay, so I'll acknowledge that he had good qualities too, right? So this kid, Rex, yeah. So I started talking to him because I'm like, oh, he needs a friend. He's new. I'll make new friends. Why not? Because I'm a very outgoing person. So I run over, and I'm like, hey, dude. And he looked like a serial killer. So I said, if you ever shoot up a school, shoot me first. And he was like, haha, I've heard that like 10 times today. I said, oh, I guess I'm just that basic. He said, yeah, a little bit. And I said, ha ha ha, real funny. And he said, yeah. So we had a nice conversation, and then I gave him my Snapchat, and we continue on. It was at the end of the year, so in like 2 days after that, the summer started. He didn't go to school for those 2 days, which was like, okay, haha, whatever. So I'm watching TV like a week after I go my Snapchat and school ended, and I'm just sitting there, I'm minding my own business, I'm doing my own thing, and he messages me, and he's like, you know I like you, right? I said, what? He said, I like you, and I'm like quick Ash figure thing to say, because you cannot tell him that you like him because you do not. So what do I gotta say? And I don't like whenever people do that with me, like they just put me on the spot, because it makes me scared, because I don't want to say the wrong thing and make them upset. So I said, at the moment, I'm not capable of liking someone in general. Like that, I said, I need a time for myself. Even though I did not need time for myself. I was ready to get in a relationship, just not with him. Okay, because he creeped me out. He creeped me out, but he was one of my friends, and he was funny, and he seemed nice enough. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, let's just be buds. Let's be buddies. You're my little pal, okay? So, we were chilling one day, and he goes, and he brings it up again, the fact that he likes me. I said, bud, I don't like you like that. He said, oh. I said, yeah. And he said, well, I'll wait. And I said, for what? And he said, for you to come around. I said, oh. Okay. So at this point in time, I'm like, you know what, we can just be friends, and he can think he's gonna get something, but he's not, because you know what, who cares? So I continue being friends with him, we're just chilling, and one day, he starts buying me stuff. Like, it was out of the blue, too. He bought me, I forget what it was. I think I told him that I liked record players, and I'd want one, and he got me a record player, and I felt really overjoyed with it. Like, I loved that thing. I still have it. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and he also got me a record of Nirvana, and it was just beautiful, and I loved it. So I was so grateful for it. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. And then he got me like 10 different band shirts out of his closet, you know, his old ones, but they were still great. So I really appreciate it. And then he got me this black witchcraft, it was what it was called, jacket, and I was just in love with it. But then everybody started thinking that I was like his sugar baby. And it all happened real fast. He also made me a money ring, and I posted it on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out. A picture of it. So this dude, he starts giving me stuff and making me stuff, and at this point in time, I realized, yo, I need to cut this off right now. I need to stop this, because people would think I was a sugar baby, and he was acting like a sugar daddy, but I wasn't no sugar baby because he wasn't getting no sugar. Okay? So I'm like, I gotta like end this before people start thinking badly of me. So I'm like, okay, listen. A few dollar things here and there, like maybe a donut or coffee here and there once in a while, like once a month, is fine. But don't buy me a bunch of stuff that's really expensive, please, okay? So he bought me this really cheap necklace out of nowhere. He was like, hey, I got you this necklace. It's like $200, even though it's not. It wasn't, because I figured out that it wasn't, because my friend had the exact same one, and she got it for like $10. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, thank you. And it was on my nightstand, and it's still there. because he just never asked for this stuff back, and I'm too anxious to talk to him. Anyway, so this dude, he got me all this stuff, and I didn't know how to, like, stop it, and people were starting to think that I was a sugar baby. So half my table thought, oh my gosh, so she's a sugar baby, oh my gosh, she's using him, and the other half was like, no, she told him to stop, and he won't stop. Not her problem. So I asked him to stop multiple times, and for a while he did, and I was like, okay, that works out fine. Then out of nowhere, he started buying me coffee, a bunch of coffee. And you probably are, like, confused where the stalker part comes in at, but around this time, he also ends up finding my Instagram and Facebook. My Facebook's under my name, so I can understand how he found that, but my Instagram isn't. It's, like, my personal account, so I was very confused on how he found it, because I didn't give it to him. And as well as that, he was just giving me major creep vibes, and he wouldn't stop. So this dude, he ends up starting to hang out with me outside of school and stuff. I'm like, you know what, whatever, we can be closer friends, we can be buddies. So I hang out with him. We have this little group with me, my friend, we'll call her T, my friend, we'll call them K, and my other friend, we'll call them Nicole. Eventually Nicole leaves, so I don't have her anymore, because she was toxic, and she was younger than me, and she just hung out with me whenever I played D&D and stuff. But anyway, so it was me, T, and Rex at the library a bunch of times. Like, she always came out and hung out with me. She was, like, my best friend ever, and she still is my best friend ever. Like, I love her to bits. And anyway, so every time that T was there, he wouldn't do anything. Like, he wouldn't pull anything on me. I mean, he would stalk me and follow me around like a little puppy all the time, like, even when they were there. But as long as they were there, he wouldn't put his arm around me, which he did all the time, and it made me so uncomfortable. Like, I'd be like this. And one time, he did it with her there, and she was like, hey, do you want to use the restroom? So we end up making that a habit. Every time he did something awkward that I didn't like, we'd run to the bathroom, we'd talk about it and discuss it. So it turns out this guy from his old school messaged my friend T and told her that Rex ran out of town, like, ran out of his old town. And he claimed to be in a gang too. Like, this dude was really weird. He was really odd. Anyway, so he claimed to be in a gang, he claimed all these things, and it was kind of scary. Oops, sorry. It was kind of really scary, you know? I was like, dude, you're being weird. It was cringy, almost, because he just wasn't someone that you'd expect to be anything like that. Anyway, so he's had a bit of a long day, it felt like he's been a little bit of a long life. Anyway, so we find that out, and I'm like, okay, look, I don't want to be friends with him anymore. I don't want to be near him anymore. He's scaring me. He's being protective. I don't like it. I just want to be friends or nothing. So I tell him, look, I don't like you like that. I just want to be friends. And he said, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. So about a week after I made that clear enough, he's still buying me coffee, which I'm like, maybe it's just a friendly gesture. Okay, whatever. So eventually, after like a week after I make that clear to him, and he says, okay, he asked me if I want to go with a group of friends and him to a football game. I was like, yeah, sure. So we go, and we're chilling, and out of nowhere, he puts his arm around me, and I'm like, I'm in danger. So I'm like, and then I look at JT, and JT looks at me, and she's like, and I went, T, and she's like, and then she's like, hey, I know something that will make you hate Rex even more. And I said, oh yeah, what? And she said, he supports Trump. And I went, at this point in time, I didn't care if he supported Trump or not, but the fact is, he told me he didn't. And that made me mad that he lied to me. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm part Korean, so I don't like the fact that they're keeping people out of this country. And it was around this time when the wall was getting brought up a lot. I said that I didn't like how they were trying to keep immigrants away from this country whenever we stole it. We stole this land. That's what we did, okay? No getting around it. So that's what I said. I said, no. Anyway, so after that conversation, he got mad at me for having simple views. He got up and walked away, and he was mad. He went hysteric, apparently. I didn't even know this until later on, but someone told me. He was mad. So a few minutes later passed, and he's still not back, so I decided, you know what, T, let's go find him, and we'll talk it out, because he's being annoying now. So we got up and went to search for him, and I told him, look, dude, this is what needs to happen. We aren't going to talk about politics. We're just going to settle down and watch the game again because that's what we came here to do, and I'm not fighting with you. And he said, okay, fine. So we go and we watch the game, and we're friends again, you know, we're chill again. So he goes, and at halftime, his mom comes, and she's like, hey, do you want to come home now because it's time to leave? And he's like, yeah, okay. He's like, I don't want to walk out alone. Ash, do you want to come with me? I'm like, yeah, okay, why not? And he's like, but first, wait. I may or may not, my mom may or may not think that you're my girlfriend. I said, what? He said, yeah, and I went, why would she think that? And I'm like, dude, no, that's not okay. Why would she think that? And he's like, well, I may have told her and the rest of my family that you were. I said, no, I'm not. Why would you do that? He's like, well, I had to figure a way to reason for me getting you stuff. And I said, or you could just not get me stuff like I said. So I was mad. I was like, why is he lying about me? And I don't like confrontation. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just walk out with you and then come back. So that's what I did. So I walked out, rocked him to his car, talked to his mom for a minute because she seemed nice enough. And then I walked back. But it was scurry. Okay, so I told JT, and JT's like, whoa, that's creepy. That's not okay. She's like, dude, that's weird. And I went, right? So eventually, it gets to the point where I was scared to go to school with him because he wouldn't leave me alone. I mean, I wasn't scared. It just, he gave me vibes. Like, he would stand next to me and just stare at me with his eyes, and he'd just stare at me. Like, I'd be on the swing and I'd be playing, or else we'd be eating something or sitting down, and he'd just stand, and I'd be like, okay, sit down now, and he wouldn't. And it was weird, okay? So another thing that he would do that really scared me was I would go to the bathroom, and he'd sit out on the bench and just wait for us, like T and I, to get out. And it scared me half to death because why would you be waiting for us to get out of the bathroom? Like, no, that's not okay, right? Like, I don't think I was overreacting in that. I'll leave it in my comments down below. Like, leave it, comment down below and tell me, do you think I was overreacting or not? Anyway, so this dude, right, he wouldn't stop. So it's like I used to babysit this kid. He was like 11 or 12 at the time, just now. So he is one of my friends. I call him Joshy. So we would hang out after school. One day, he gave me a hug, and I was like, oh, Joshy, and I gave him a hug back. And Thomas looked at us, and visibly, Rex looked at us and visibly started shaking. He was like, and he like squeezed this water bottle. It was full, and he squeezed it until the cap flew off, and like water went everywhere. And I was like, really? And T was like, dude, stop. So we had to go over, and I cleaned up the mess because he refused to, which was great. And I was really mad. I was like, he's literally 12. Why are you acting like this? Get over it. And then I left. And then another thing that he did, every time that I bring up that I liked someone or that I've talked to them, one time I said that I liked this dude from Speech and Debate, which I was in, and he took a knife and he did this to his jeans until they ripped, and you could see skin flying off his leg. It was disgusting. And another thing is, every single time that I leave after hanging out with him, he'd ask for a hug. And I don't like hugging people that make me feel uncomfortable. Reasonably so. So I went, oh, no thanks, I'm not really in a hugging mood, you know? And my grandma would get so mad at me if I said no. She'd be like, he has a hard life. You're supposed to hug him. He just wants a hug, Haley. Why is it such a big deal, Haley? Oh, whoops. Ash. This is what I go by. He's like, why is that such a big deal, Ash? And I'd be like, I'm like, I don't know. And I feel so guilty if I didn't give him a hug because I felt like I was obligated to. So, anyway, so this dude, he just continues acting like this, like a child. At one point in time, for Christmas time, he got me these, like, little candies. I don't remember what they were called, but they're expensive. And they were, like, little candy bars, and they had different flavors. And I ate them all within a day, which I really felt bad about afterwards. But do I regret it? No. No, boy. No, after this, no, I don't regret it. So he got me, they were like $12 a pack. And I was like, oh my god, thank you. It was Merci chocolates. And I was like, oh my god, thank you. I appreciate it. It was around Christmas time, so I was like, I got you something too. And I got him like a ring or something. I forget what I did. But that's what I got him because we were friends, and I get all my friends gifts. So I just chill. I'm chilling out. You know, I'm just having a good day. And he gets me the last thing that he'll ever get me, and it was a Supernatural hoodie, and I loved it. absolutely loved it. But then after this, we had a falling outing because I told him once again, stop buying me stuff, please. I don't like you like that. And that's why I said it. That's exactly what I said. And he got really upset with me about it because he was like, I've done everything that you wanted me to do for the past how long? You still don't like me. I'm like, I just don't like you. Like, that's just it. It's not like I didn't like another friend. I just don't like him as a boyfriend. And that's what I said. It's like I wasn't attracted to him. I didn't like him. So he goes, and like a week after I tell him that, he hasn't talked to me. He goes to my friend JT, apparently. He goes to my friend and goes, I like you. My friend T is in a relationship at the time, and, yeah, they were in a relationship at the time, so they were like, look, you're my friend, 1, 2, I'm in a relationship, you need to back off. So he did. He was like, oh, okay, sorry, and like 3 weeks after that, maybe, he started dating my friend Kay. And I was like, what the heck? He's just going around my friend circle and dating whoever he can get at this point in time. So he dates my friend Kay. And Kay told me that he told her at one point in time that he only dated me because he only dated me because I reminded him of his ex that killed herself because he cheated on her. And I was like, what? I was like, that brings it to a whole different level of crazy, you know, doesn't it? Like, it's horrible. Anyway, so that was the story of whenever I was stalked by a guy around my age that was kooky because I looked like his ex-girlfriend that killed herself. That's just, I felt bad for him after that, but at the same time, I'm like, why you gotta do me like that, right? I don't know. It scared me. Also, like, my friend Kay also told me that he didn't, like, whenever they were together, that he did a lot of weird stuff, and she said that she was fine with, like, certain things, but then he'd do other stuff, and she'd tell him to stop, and he wouldn't. So I didn't like that. You know, so multiple things. It was like, he didn't know what no means. I felt like I told him no multiple times, like, not to buy me stuff, don't touch me, don't do this, and he just didn't listen, you know? So he just, I don't know, man. Oh, also, another thing about him, which gives me way more creepy vibes. I was hesitant to make this video because I didn't want to dog anybody. Also, because he scares me at this point. At one point in time, he got kicked out of school because they found a brass knuckles in his locker and a knife, I think it was. And when they asked him why he had it, he was like, well, my dad's part of the mafia, and I need to be prepared. And I was like, what? So it was great. It was amazing, you know. 10 out of 10 recommend. It was a great experience with, like, 100% want everybody else to experience it too, you know. Great. Just kiss my hand. Anyway, so it was horrible actually, but that's all I have from it. What I've learned from it is not to trust dudes that look like they'd have major mommy issues. Yeah. He scared me. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. Comment in the section what you think of the story, what you think of the situation I was in, and then like and tell me if I should do more of these, because I got a lot of stories. A lot. Because I don't know how to function as a human being and not get into stories. Anyway, so thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.